Alright, what is going on, guys? It's Tazz here, and welcome back to the channel. This week's Gotham Knights episode brought us one step closer to taking down the court, answering a ton of questions, and confirming some pretty interesting theories. Episode 8, titled Belly of the Beast, truly lived up to its name, with the Knights finally infiltrating the court in one of my favorite episodes we've seen so far. Leading up, the trailer perfectly portrayed the mood and atmosphere as the team dove deeper into the depths of the court, uncovering their true motive in Gotham City. While unfortunately we have a 1-week break before the show returns on the 23rd of May, this entry gave us plenty to discuss in the meantime. So as always, spoilers if you guys are not caught up with Gotham Knights, but with that out of the way, let's Mission Impossible our way right into this episode breakdown. Episode 8 kicks things off with the Knights crossing off another target from the criminal ledger, continuing not only their hunt for answers about the court, but also their journey as Gotham's newest vigilantes. During their getaway, Cullen noticed that his fancy Court of Owls watch seemed to be broken. However, upon further inspection by the team, it led to one of their most important clues yet. Checking in with Harvey, he places Cressida in a safe house somewhere the court hopefully cannot reach her, while he makes the necessary arrangements for her to testify against them. Foreshadowing the reveal later in the episode, Lincoln March is recovering from the attempt on his life that has left him scarred and deformed Emperor Palpatine style. Well, maybe not scarred and deformed, but at least a little worse for wear. However, during this scene with Lincoln, he discovers that Harvey may have been somewhere he shouldn't have been during his stay in the hospital, which of course will come back later on in the episode. Back to the Belfry as the Knights try and make sense of the court's watches and the pattern they have started to repeat. Thanks to Stephanie's expert code-breaking skills, she is able to decipher what exactly the watches are trying to convey. The court is sending out a signal with the time and coordinates to one of their top-secret meetings somewhere in Gotham City set for later that same night. Very cool to see Joe Chill's clue of watches all the time come back into play here, with the court sending out the invitation to their top secret meeting using the watches that have been collected all throughout the season. If you weren't suspicious of Lincoln March before, this episode did a great job building towards the eventual reveal of his true intentions, as he not only called out Turner Hayes, but Harvey Dent as well in a message to the citizens of Gotham. This of course motivates Harvey to try and speed up the process with Cressida so that she can reveal what the court is truly planning. Harvey also receives a frantic call from Rebecca that made it seem like she may be aware of Lincoln's true nature, which would make a lot of sense and certainly explain a lot of her suspicious actions in the past few episodes. Also a big fan of the clock imagery and symbolism all throughout the episode, not only with the watches, but even with the props on Harvey's desk, holding focus on a clock during the scene in his office. Now that the team knows exactly where and when the court is meeting, all that's left is coming up with a plan to infiltrate the Court of Owls. Turner gives his big hero speech about how this could be their best shot at exposing the court once and for all, which convinces the other Knights to go along with his plan. Thanks to Cullen's expert craftsmanship, Gotham Academy's 3D printer, and the reference pictures from past court meetings, everything is starting to fall into place as Turner and Duella take on the responsibility of going in undercover. As Turner and Duella suit up looking all snazzy and such to go gather as much intel as they can on the court, we get quite the interesting interaction between the two. I know we've joked around about the show setting up a relationship between them, but I think this kind of confirmed that they may be going all in on that. As Duella shows off her disguise, we once again get one of those classic CW moments, with Turner left speechless as he tries to spit the most immaculate riz possible. In all seriousness, though, I think this was another great character building scene for the two of them, finding common ground with their histories. While they come from completely different backgrounds, they can find some solace in shared traumas. This also seems to be the first step in the direction of Duella potentially fully embracing the whole vigilante side of the Gotham Knights, which is further explored a bit later on. Back over to Harvey with one of the most eerie scenes in the episode as he goes to check in on Cressida in the safe house only to discover the court has already gotten to her. All that's left is a tape recorder with a cassette inside, which plays some more creepy Court of Owls music, the same type of music used to trigger Harvey's Two-Face personality in a previous episode. And as the music plays and the camera tilts, Harvey becomes the other side of himself. It's showtime as the Knights prepare for their most important mission yet. Cullen and Harper will stay behind in the getaway truck and run surveillance, while Carrie will be the team's eyes, ears, and muscle in the field, while Turner and Duella enter the court's lair with their one-to-one replica masks. Also thought Carrie's goggle upgrade was worth a mention, definitely a fan of the more streamlined look. Quick intermission before infiltrating the court. Stephanie's story for the most part was very disconnected from the rest of the Knights as we see her tackle the difficult subject of dealing with her mother's addiction. Her father is trying his best to cover it up to preserve the family image, which unfortunately leaves Stephanie caught in the middle. I feel like this will be used as motivation for her to continue on her path towards her own vigilante identity of Spoiler, which also received a fun name drop within the episode. Back to Turner and Duella trying their best to blend in, use the Court of Owls watch as the key to the party, and are ready to charge headfirst into the court's labyrinth in order to unravel this mystery. While inside, you really get the sense that we have stepped into another world, the world of the court. Gotham's elite hides behind masks while secretly pulling the strings and controlling the city from the shadows. The show did such a good job of portraying how out of their element Turner and Duella were, with the somewhat blurred filter put over the scenes within the court's party. Everyone gathers to listen to the voice of the court as he announces the discovery of the map that was acquired from the Alan Wayne paintings. It is revealed that the map does in fact lead to a special substance, a mineral called electrum. This is the same substance the court used to create the original Talon, which has allowed him to not only live as long as he has, but also dance with death itself. With the map, the voice of the court plans to find the source of Electrum so that the court and its members can live indefinitely as they rule over Gotham City. So there we have it. I was, let's just say, half right. It wasn't a Lazarus pit that the court was after, but rather Electrum, which for what it's worth does virtually the same thing. Electrum is also in the comics and is an element used in the creation of Talons there as well, so it makes sense as to why the show would go this route. Another big reveal from this scene, while he doesn't take the mask off just yet, we finally get to see the leader of the Court of Owls, who I'm just going to refer to as the voice of the court, just as the Gotham Knights game did. And it's pretty obvious who is under that mask from the setup at the beginning of the episode, that being Lincoln March, but we will discuss it all further once he is revealed to the audience towards the end of the episode. Now, after hearing the court's plan to find Electrum, Turner and Duella decide the best course of action would be to steal the map, and that's exactly what they do. We get a pretty awesome fight sequence where they take out a couple of court members and snag the map. However, on their way out, things get just a bit more complicated as the court brings out the imposter among us, that being Cressida, to publicly pay for her betrayal. The voice tasks Talon to do what he does best, but of course, Turner cannot allow that to happen, even if Cressida did play a role in his father's death. Duella gets to see firsthand just how much Turner is willing to risk to not only take down the court, but ensure the safety of others, which seemingly leads to a bit of a change of heart from her. Turner gives the Talon a taste of his own medicine with Chekhov's sword, prolonging Cressida's inevitable fate at the hands of the court. Of course, with this, chaos ensues, which gives Turner a chance to escape with Cressida in order to get some answers, while Duella, with some help from Carrie, is able to escape as well, regrouping with Harper and Cullen. Turner is able to take the time to get some answers from Cressida as she explains the guilt she has had from her time with the court. She tells Turner how the court will become borderline unstoppable if they are able to get their hands on Electrum. Cressida also explains why the court killed Bruce Wayne. He planned on giving his fortune to the people of Gotham after his death in an effort to eliminate crime in a way he could not as Batman. But with that revelation, the court catches up to them, killing Cressida and capturing Turner, as of course they have plans for him. After Lincoln cuts the comms between Turner and the team, Duella seemingly hits her breaking point, wanting to drop everything to go back and save Turner, really leaning into her full-on redemption arc. However, the team decides that it's best to take the map and regroup before coming up with a plan on how to save Turner from the clutches of the Court of Owls. Our big final court tease for the episode comes after we see Turner being escorted away. The camera lingers on the voice of the court as he takes off his mask to reveal what we already knew, that he is in fact Lincoln March. Everything is really falling into place here and starting to make a ton of sense. Lincoln did the classic diversion technique, having the Talon attack him so that no one would suspect not just his involvement with the court, but the fact that he is seemingly leading the whole operation. Definitely a fan of this reveal, although I'm still wondering if we will see him potentially suit up as Owlman, maybe if the court is able to find the Electrum. That would be a pretty intense final boss fight, the Gotham Knights versus the Talon, who will most likely just put his head back on, and Lincoln March as Owlman. But for now, one final cliffhanger for the episode, another huge one. Harvey randomly wakes up in this random warehouse, which looks pretty similar to the location that the paintings were in at the end of the previous episode. He's wearing a Court of Owls mask that is covered in blood, and as Harvey comes to, he seemingly has once again no memory of where he is, how he got there, or exactly what happened to him. The court activated him earlier on in the episode, and Two-Face has once again killed for them, and now the big question is who exactly was Harvey tasked with targeting? The most twisted outcome from Harvey's Two-Face adventure would be if Lincoln, as the voice of the court, tasked him with killing Rebecca March. We know that Lincoln found out about their time together while he was in the hospital, and I definitely wouldn't put it past him to use Harvey's alternate personality to eliminate someone he feels was going behind his back. Not only would it show just how far Lincoln is willing to go to get what he wants, but it could also be the breaking point for Harvey as he realizes exactly what he is capable of when the monstrous side of himself is in control. This end scene with Harvey also adds more validity to the theory that I've had going back to the very first episode, that under the influence of the court, Harvey is actually the one who killed Bruce Wayne. Overall, guys, this was another incredible episode of Gotham Knights, once again really unraveling that Court of Owls mystery. We finally know their true intentions, to find Electrum and achieve eternal life, as they are being led by none other than Lincoln March as the voice of the court. We also received some of the best character progression for both Turner and Duella this week, showing that these two have a lot more in common than we originally thought, and I really loved how it all culminated at the end of the episode with Duella finally realizing that she needed to take a page out of Turner's book after he was captured by the court. Super excited to see how the rescue mission goes to get Turner back, even if we do have to wait an extra week for the next episode. Also wanted to give credit where credit is due. This episode looked really good cinematography wise. It was fairly unique as compared to other episodes and really leaned into different camera techniques to convey the mood of certain scenes. I'm just a big film nerd, so I enjoy when shows put a lot of time and attention on small details like that. So with that said, guys, I want to know your thoughts on all of this down there in the comments below. What did you think of the reveal of Lincoln March as the voice of the court? Are you happy with Electrum being the court's ultimate goal? And are you a fan of this Turner and Duella pairing? Because I don't know why, but I kind of like it after this episode. Just let me know your thoughts on all of this down there in the comments below. But until next time, guys, it's been Tazz, and I'll see you guys in the next video.